I know I kind of went off in a tangent for you folks. A lot of people don't know that my mother's from Puerto Rico, my grandmother, and it, on and on and on. I have generations of family that are Boricuas. We are a native people. We are not. Well, a lot of people think, oh, we're a mixture of slaves and Spaniards and native people, and then they say, oh, the native people died, so there's no native people in Puerto Rico. A lot of this is misconception. Some of it may be true. My ancestry, I have a stronger Spanish connection. Obviously, you can see it by looking at me, and I do have native links, Taino, and other native islander links in my family, both on the Quirindongo side and other people that are connected to migrations between Puerto Rico, Venezuela, Colombia, and other islands, Cuba, the Dominican Republic. Those guys are all our cousins for the most part. So I'm going with this is I posted this stuff today. We had the governor of Puerto Rico. She's an elected official, but she's technically the representative of the island to the United States. Puerto Rico is not a state. Uh, they have this very complicated political term with reference to it being an associated commonwealth with the United States, and has been like that for a number of years. Um, Puerto Rico was invaded. Today was the day Puerto Rico was invaded, and the governor of Puerto Rico said some very disgusting things, almost pretty much thanking the United States for invading the island. And I got to bring up some things that happened to my ancestors, my family members. Um, they stole the land after the invasion. Well, actually, they murdered a lot of people. That first few weeks of that invasion, there were. It wasn't like they just moved in and people just opened the doors and let them in. There were fights because Puerto Rico was not owned or possessed by Spain when the United States invaded Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico was already disconnected and freely associated away from Spain. And when the United States came in, many people thought that they were establishing this new government of Puerto Rico, this new country that was no longer associated with Spain. So what happened is there were fights, like skirmishes, and there was one famous battle, the Battle of Lares, and a couple other skirmishes around the island that resulted in hundreds of deaths. Still to this day, we won't know the exact numbers because he who wins the wars writes the history. So that happened. Then what? Soon thereafter, bankers came in from the United States and they literally burnt the money and records of property ownership of all the people that own farms and plantations and things in Puerto Rico. So no one had proof of ownership. And then soon after that, I think it's the Diamond Sugar Company and a couple other corporations came in and parted the island as far as ownership, and pretty much started starving the people out. Gave many people opportunity to migrate into the U.S. So then the term was, and I've read this term because of my career having worked in Indian country. I read some significant documents that are big deal to me and to my people, where U.S. Congress and these business corporations wanted to remove the savage from our people. That some of us, like me, we look white, but that we're still somewhat savage, and that the best way of doing it was taking and sending our children to Indian schools and making and separating the parents and making them work at factories in New York, Pennsylvania, and other places around the United States, specifically on the West Coast. So um, it didn't end there. I mean, they sterilized our women. Um, They started forcing and beating people in public. There was just a numerous amount of things, kind of similar to Donald Trump with blowing up boats. They did the same thing. They're destroying boats and fisheries, and people out there were going missing. Planes were mysteriously disappeared in the ocean. There's this whole Bermuda Triangle thing, right? It just it goes on and on and on. So this is why I felt inspired to let everybody know that this is not our history. This is not we are not happy about this as Boricuas. We are not happy about that history. Okay. Now we have a relationship. Yeah, our country was literally raped by the United States, but we have a history now. A lot of good things after the fact occurred, and there were some good people in the United States that established those partnerships. But for us to say, "Oh yes, thank you for this," is an insult. And this governor Colon, she is a traitor to the Puerto Rican people. She's a typical politician that will do something like that, where ultimately she doesn't care who the conqueror is, as long as she benefits from this relationship. And more than likely, it's because she was facing some federal criminal charges, and she had been investigated by by the United States government. So, she either play ball or go to prison, pretty much. And that's the tactic that has been with Puerto Rico for over 100 years. If you don't, as a politician, play ball with the United States government, then you will go to a federal prison. That will happen to you, because either something you've done or something they'll come up and figure out to fabricate that you've done. So this is a sad day today, and I would like you, my friends, to accept this as more of a memorialization of those who've died. All those people, all those innocent people died, my ancestors, and let's not let that go by the wayside and say that we're happy about that. No, we're not. And that now, if you look over historically, Puerto Ricans have contributed significantly to the United States in more than one discipline. And there is as much, or now getting to a point, more Boricuas, more Puerto Ricans. I say Boricua because that's what we are. We're not Puerto Ricans. We are Boricuas. And there's more Boricuas right now off the island than there is on the island, as a result of them getting pushed off, poverty, and a whole bunch of other reasons. The main reason is this Jones Act. The United States kind of keeps Puerto Rico tied up so it doesn't make any real money or have any real commerce with other countries. The United States keeps Puerto Rico poor on purpose because they want to keep Puerto Rico under control, which that's not a partnership. So I want my friends to know that, one, I love being a part of the United States, but we have to always accept and acknowledge the bad things that happen. And then the reason we acknowledge it is so then we don't go through this again with other countries or with the same people. And right now, Puerto Rico's in a struggle. Right now, you have Puerto Rico dealing with their communism, believe it or not, is in the undertones of many Puerto Ricans as a result of other things, other influences. And this is a cycle of issues. But I don't think any Puerto Ricans want to be in a communist society. What we want is a partnership. We want to be respected. We want self-determination. We want to be able to operate our nation, because that's what it is, not a state. Our nation, respectively and responsibly on our own. And the United States consistently ties our hands. So, and then to those people, I remember when I was working for the U.S. government as an official, there was a lot of these comments, about us, about us being half black and this, that. You know what? It doesn't hurt my feelings. I've moved on from a lot of it, but the discrimination or the statements, it even came from fellow people from our island saying, "Oh, well, you're not real Puerto Rican because you're born in the United States, and that is garbage. All Boricuas are Boricuas. We are one people, and those people on that island, they have backup. They have the support of Boricuas here on the mainland and around the world. The thing is that they have to be willing to accept that just because they're shaking the hand of the white man, and I hate to say it that way, but this is how it is, of this person, this foreigner that's patting them on the back for being a good servant, they should not have desperate treatment towards their brothers and sisters that were born in other places. Ethnically, that's where we're from. You can't unborn us. You can't disconnect us from the island. So it's very difficult or almost impossible for Puerto Rico to become a state because of all these things. And many Puerto Ricans, many Boricuas don't want Puerto Rico to become a state because of these issues. Because we want to maintain that small piece of land that's sitting in the Caribbean as a sacred place, our ancestral place. It's our land. That land is ours to protect, and it's there for us to go and visit and have our children there if we want to have families there. But it's our land. It's not the land of some multi-billion-dollar pharmaceutical company or some other sugar company or coffee company. It's the land of Boricuas. And so it should be respected that way. We should all understand that and understand and appreciate the benefits of the partnership the United States has had with Puerto Rico for a long time now. And today is not a good day, but we remember how the United States and Puerto Rico, Borinquen, has grown from all these negative things that have occurred. If we can do that, then it's better days ahead. These politicians that are making all these stupid statements, and I can imagine they're probably back in their homes in Virginia and other places in the South talking about how stupid we are as Boricuas. But I'll tell you this much, not just because my family members or people I'm connected to, but around my career over 30 years, a lot of the smartest people that I ever interacted with in government were Boricuas. And if you look around, and I'll let you get on the internet yourself and do some research, Puerto Rico, the people of Puerto Rico, Borinquen, Boricuas, have had significant impact and influence on this world like no other race. Okay, and maybe it's because we're mixed people. Maybe because we are native Taino and the mixture of our African diasporas and connections with Spain. Maybe it's because we were able to move on from a lot of the racism and just grow up together and love each other. It could be, but if you do the research, it would drive you crazy to see how that little island makes more money to the United States, pays more taxes than places like Mississippi. So just think about it, and you don't have to say anything. Just accept the facts, and if you don't believe me, do your own research. And just thank you for listening to me. I had to share this with you guys because it's just not fair. We are not the same as other people, but we're human beings, and we don't appreciate our governor. I guess that's what you call her, a governor of our nation, of Puerto Rico, of Borinquen, appreciating and thanking the United States for enslaving us, or colonizing us. We're not happy about that. We're happy about our relationship now, but we're not happy about our past and how things started. And so maybe it's something worth you're wherever you are in the world, understanding that if you're able to be honest and say, yeah, these bad things happen, but now it's time for us to move on from it, maybe that makes you better as a country or better as a government. So then that way, one, you're resolving the past issues, and then you're actually creating you're opening the door or creating a path to better opportunities between two governments and self-determination. Talk with you guys. Bye-bye.